Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the LSU versus Alabama preview. We are going to be previewing LSU versus Alabama this weekend. Game will be around 6 o'clock this weekend. We'll have game coverage of LSU and Alabama. So we'll have the Ed Orgeron press conference, and also we'll have the Nick Saban press conference as well. So we'll go ahead without further ado. Thanks for joining us. If you want to come in and talk LSU football, you got an opportunity. We'll send you your links. It'll be from StreamYard. Let me go ahead and send those to you. And I'll put those in. Okay, we'll get the Facebook one up too in a sec. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, both Facebook, YouTube, and have the StreamYard links. So let's go ahead and go over to the Ed Orgeron press conference, and we'll go over to Coach Saban. So we'll go over to him. So let's begin going over to Ed Orgeron first, and then Nick Saban.
He works the same hours everybody else works.
LSU Tiger fans are gearing up with real
Tiger Stadium the following week. It's the Texas A&M game. The Oklahoma team do that. He wants to tuck it in.
I thought our guys did a very good job. Thursday, they had a team activity and they had the weekend off, so everybody should come back today ready to go. We're relatively healthy, more than we've been in the past. Some guys got the healing up, so it was a good week for us. I want to congratulate John Robinson, Paul Bear Bryant, Lifetime Achievement Award. Coach Robinson is a great friend of mine. He's been with me. I use him as a mentor. He's in our office every day. He works the same hours everybody else works, from 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. The guy is relentless, and he's a great man to have on our staff. Obviously, this is a big game for us in Alabama. Playing them on the road, great atmosphere there. Alabama's offense is averaging 46 points a game, almost 600 yards per game. Bryce Young is a great quarterback. He's mobile, he's accurate. Brian Robinson is really an impressive back. His one cut, the way he gets downhill, outstanding back. John Metchie and Jamison Williams, outstanding receiver, but as Alabama does, that line is fantastic. Evan Neal, who we recruited here, is going to be All-American, a first-round draft choice, one of the best guys we see. Their defense is very stout, 21 points a game, 4-2-5, some 3-4. Will Ennis is a guy that we recruited. He's got 9 sacks. We got to know where he's at all times. Darius Mathis is doing a good job. And their transfer, Henry Toto, is the team leader, tackling 59. On special teams, a guy that was committed to us for about 3 months, Georgia Earl, is a dynamic returner. We're looking forward to this week's practice. We're looking forward to getting everybody back today and attacking the week. Any questions?
Yeah, there was a report about 30 minutes ago that said Miles Brennan entered the transfer portal. Can you confirm the status of that?
Yeah, he with me. He said, Coach, he was carrying out. It was a tough decision for him. He thought that he just needed to find a place that he thought that he can go play for 1 year and start. And obviously, I know he's not going to play this year. He's not ready. It was a tough decision. I think he and his family made it. I told him, said, listen, hey, hold your head high. You give all you can to LSU. You graduated from LSU, and I wish him the best.
Because I know you don't like to get
into spreads or numbers, but you heard that y'all are 28.5-point underdogs, and what do you think about the total lack of respect by Vegas this week?
We don't pay attention to that. This is the first I heard of it. I remember I was at Ole Miss when came to play LSU. It was a 27-point underdog, winning in overtime. So, those games can go either way. They're a very good football team. Give them credit, but we're gonna be ready to play.
Yeah, going back to Miles, obviously you've coached a long time. You dealt with a lot of players who dealt with injuries and tough situations. But does your heart really go out to him? I mean, this is a guy who came here and waited his turn and just through one bad situation or another, never really got to live up to get his chance to really play.
Yeah, I got to give it to Miles and his family. He remained patient. He waited his turn, and I thought he played very good last year at the beginning of the year. I thought he was very accurate. I thought he made the right throws. He got a strong arm. And I thought he was going to end up having a great year. And unfortunately, he got hurt. And then unfortunately, he got hurt again this year. And things happened that way to where he thought that he had to move on and take a shot at another place. And Joe Burrow did the same thing. It worked out for him. I hope the same thing works out for Miles. He wants to play pro ball. I hope he gets that shot.
And even with Miles, I mean, obviously he wasn't able to play this year, so it doesn't affect y'all in the future. But I guess just how would you assess the quarterback room moving forward when he won't be a part of the team next year? Even though
Same thing. Nothing's changed really. For the remainder of the year, and I don't know who they're gonna bring in. What are they gonna talk about them? That's for them. But nothing's changed. Because he wasn't with us. I didn't expect him to play. I knew his rehab was taking a little bit longer, and he had some other things that he got to work on. And he had a little knee that was hurt and stuff like that. So I think there's some things that he needs to get fixed up, get healthy. And but as far as the quarterback room, it's gonna stay the same. The thing that with Garrett, he only has one more game to play that he can get redshirt, and he needs to redshirt if we decide to get redshirt. So that's something we talked about. Max now starting quarterback. I'm gonna play Garrett if we can. I'm gonna talk about what game we're gonna play him in. Yeah, his shoulder was very sore, but he practiced every day. He knows Garrett's breathing right down the back of his neck. So he's a competitor. He knows he can't blink. So he practiced. And that was a kind of a walk-through practice. I think he should be full speed today.
Yeah, hey coach, you mentioned you guys kind of took this week to get a little bit healthier. Is there any updates on some of those guys that were kind of, I guess, maybe questionable last week?
Yeah, Jason Hines is going to be back. Vontae Lee's going to be back. The guys that I know for sure are not going to be back is Safe Ryan. I don't think he's going to be available this week. Bo told me this morning he's out. We're still waiting for Cordell Flott to get better. We think he will, but he won't be practicing today or tomorrow. Hopefully he can practice Wednesday.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned Alabama's defense and kind of can be a little bit more multiple. Is there anything unique about them this year, or is it kind of just the same thing as usual with different players?
Yeah, normally 4-2-5, then a 3-4. That Will Edison got 9 sacks. Toto's all over the field. They're strong in the middle, very strong as they've been. Their corners are great players. Their star players are an excellent player in the nickel. Very talented football team and well coached. They have 11 interceptions. They're +7 in the turnover ratio, which is very good.
Coach, 2 years ago at this time, it was such a big win for you in the program. Have you reflected on any of that? Have you thought about any of that this week?
I haven't had time. I was sitting out there thinking, wow, how things have changed. Last time we're going over there, I was sitting on my porch out there. I knew if we win that game, we had a chance. We had to go through Alabama, and that was a big victory for us. Things are different now, but there's still LSU Alabama. My job is to get these guys to play as hard as we can. We're going to be prepared, and we're going.
Kind of in that same vein, a lot has changed in college football, not just here. Gary Patterson out at TCU. Did football change more than we probably know during that COVID time and since?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot has happened, NIL and, just everything seems
There's a big shift. I feel a big shift. It's definitely different from when I started, obviously, but you got to change with the times. And the guys that are going to be successful, those are the guys that change with the times. So it's ongoing. It's changing every day. NIL, transfer portal, stuff like that, guys opting out, stuff like that. So it's a little bit different.
Hey, Coach Show back here again. You were out on the road or around the city these last weekend doing recruiting. How was your reception? Obviously, it's a little different when you're selling your pitch now that you won't be here at the end of the year. How did that all go for you?
So I took a picture of everybody in the stadium to see like, they love LSU. And, me, I like to go talk to the people. I loved it. I really like going to the games. The game that I saw on Friday night was an excellent football game. One of the best high school games I saw in a while. I just enjoy going to it. And everybody treated me with utmost respect. Saturday, I got to go to Strawberry Stadium, see an excellent game. I got to go up and see Coach Robbie Mahfouz, who coached me in the All-Star game. And just some great people.
Coach, any thoughts on? I talked to Bryce Brown a couple of weeks ago, and he says you and he are very close. He said that he thought one of the things that happened was that COVID really hurt you after the championship season and kind of stopped your momentum. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm not going to make no excuses, but it was different. We had one of the best teams in football, and then we got locked up, it seemed like, for almost a year, I'd like to be able to go out recruiting and do the things that we wanted to do, but I can't say that it made that much of a difference for what's happening now.
You would talk about your running back room and how much I think you're going to need them this week, or how much you think you're going to need them this weekend.
We have to run the football. We have to be very solid in the run game. Ty Davis. We get Bradford back. Amani Gilver's going to be back. Corey Connor's going to be back. We'll need all four of them to play. And we need to rotate those guys and keep them fresh. We have to be 50-50. We can't get one missing on this team.
Trey Bradford is eligible now?
Yes. Yeah. He's been eligible. He just had a lingering, he's a track guy. He had a lingering hamstring for a while. Now he's better to where we can get him out to practice, and hopefully he can do very well.
Malik Neighbors has kind of come on a little bit over the course of the season. For a guy who didn't play his senior year, how kind of amazing was it to see somebody who could step in right away, even though he kind of lost a year of high school there at the end?
Coming into camp this summer, he was one of the best receivers out there. The guy's just natural. He's fluid. He's got a great catch radius. He's a competitive guy. He knows how to run routes. He's tough. He can play at safety. So I don't know if that year off hurt him, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, it was a Monday practice where we only had, we didn't have any helmets on, and he went for a ball and he fell on his shoulder. And if he didn't do that, I think the guy would have had a breakout year as a freshman.
You said you used last week to do a lot of scouting. What did you come up with, and how confident are you that your coaches kind of, learned a lot about your team?
Yeah, well, they're very good, as always. Very well coached. Well, on us. Okay, on us. Well, self-scouting, we're too predictable. About formations, too predictable. First down. We're very, very predictable on defense. We need to have more of a variety on first down. We are giving them the same looks over and over again. There's not much disguise. When we line up in, we were in. So we got to, you can't, this part of the season, you just can't put a lot of new stuff in. But we put in a couple little wrinkles and make it tough. And then the biggest part for us on defense is adjusting. We have not been in the right adjustments. We have not been in the right position according to some formations. So we had an adjustment period all last week, adjustment period all this week. We've been doing it, but we're really, really holding in and being in the right place at the right time.
And kind of to that end, I know you don't give away your game plan or anything, but given the circumstances,
No, go ahead.
can you be a little freer? Can you be a little more Sure. Take a chance, trick
Yeah.
play, something like that.
Sure. I saw a great onside kick Friday night, man, in the third quarter. I thought the coach did a great job of doing it. And, if it's there, we got to do it. We got to be smart. And they're going to expect us to do it. But we got to have all that in our arsenal. But it's just got to be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes it's a good feeling.
Hey, how does the team feel going into this matchup with Bama? You beat Florida, you had a close one against Southern Miss. What's the vibe in the locker room?
Very good. Very good. These guys are anxious. They're ready to play. It's LSU, Alabama. Throw all the records out. That's enough said. And they're going to be ready to go. I'm going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to go. Tremendous challenge. A lot of respect for this football team. We coming.
Coach, here on the right. I think it was last week, there were some reports that Bug Strong was thinking about entering the portal or was going to enter the portal. Beyond Damone and Micah, who were some guys that, could see some playing time given the injuries there.
Great, man. Greg Penn's a freshman. I think he's a very talented freshman. We're looking at him to play there, and he's the next guy up.
Hey, Coach, over here on your left, with Sage out and Cordell questionable, who you looking to step up in the secondary this week?
Cam has done a good job for us. He stepped up. Jay Warren's a very multiple guy. Ray Darius Jones got to step up. Darren Evans got to step up. Those guys there have done a good job for us. Todd Harris. Hopefully Todd Harris is healthy and can play. We haven't got much playing time out of him because of injuries this year. All those guys got to step up.
Sorry to keep hammering the injury bug, but are you in danger of not meeting the requirements?
Oh, no, not at all. No. We're fine. Nope. If we're not, we'll fake it till we make it. Everybody good? Hey, good to see everybody. Go Tigers.
All right. Let's go to
Coach Ed Ogeron with the Coach O press conference as the Tigers get set.
over to Coach
in Tuscaloosa with kickoff just after 6 o'clock on Saturday night. We'll be back to set the tone for the rest of the broadcast week and then send you on your way. It's the Coach O press conference right here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
I think we got some players rested up. We got some guys healed up. We also got 3 good work days in where the players responded really well. So I was pleased with, the way, last week really went. No one knows exactly, how these bye weeks will contribute to your performance. I think that has a lot to do with how you get back into football this week, how you prepare for this game, and how we get ready to play. What it amounts to, I think an excellent LSU team. I think we're like the 5th straight ranked team that they're, about to play. I think they're a very talented team, a lot of good players. When they play well, they played extremely well, and they've shown an ability against certain opponents this year to be pretty dominating. So I think it's really important that our players do a great job in preparation, have the proper respect for a team that I know, regardless of how they played in the past, they'll play really well against us. This is always that kind of game, and that's what we got to get ready for. But I think these guys have great balance on offense. Max, excuse me, Max does a really good job, quarterback position, executing their offense. They've got really good balance in the running game. Davis, Price is a really good runner, and he's been very effective for them. They run a lot of RPOs and very efficient and effective in the passing game. They've got some good young receivers who have, really made a lot of really good plays. Defensively, they're aggressive. They're big up front. Linebackers can run. They got good edge rushers. Play a lot of man-to-man. Very athletic in the secondary. And as always, they've got really good specialists, really good team speed, and really good special teams. So this is a really good team, and I think our players really need to get ready for what's always a very physical, football game.
Okay, with that, we'll start with Michael Casagrande.
how would you assess the big play ability of your offense, and what have you seen, or where have you seen Bryce Young improve his ability to throw the deep ball?
I think that's something that we want to continue to work on. I think we've connected on a few. We missed a few that were decent throws, and we've overthrown a few. So that's something that we continue to work on. And I think we have some capabilities to make explosive plays. We made a lot of explosive plays this year. Not all of them have been deep balls, and I think we got to take what the defense gives. And but I do think that that's one of the things that we have improved on is our ability to throw the deep ball. But I think it's a work in progress that we need to continue to work on.
We'll go to Nick Kelly in Tuscaloosa.
Coming out of bye weeks, what are just some of the big mistakes to make sure to avoid?
I just think it's all mindset, with players. If you use the opportunity correctly to rest, to recover when you do have the time off, to sleep right, eat right, do all the things you need to do to try to get your body right, then you should be fresh and mentally and physically to go into the next week. But every player has to sort of, have the right mindset about coming back to football and getting ready to finish the season and play this week, which is going to be a very physical game. So, I think that the way we sort of practiced during the bye week, I was pleased with the mindset. So, hopefully we're going to be, ready to go.
Go to Aaron Suttles.
After big games, how would you sort of view the 5 guys up front on the offensive line in terms of their ability to play as a whole?
No, I think that, our offensive line has enough ability to be a very effective, good unit. I think we played really well at times, this year. But because of the inexperience, there's been, a play here and a play there, which is not what we'd like for it to be. And we want to kind of continue to work on consistency, up front, run and pass. And I think that's just something that everybody's got to really focus on and try to improve their performance. I mean, I think every player on the team, should be doing that. That's what creates value for you. That's what creates value for a team. And I think that that's what every player should be doing at this point in the season.
Okay, we'll go to Charlie.
Yeah, hey, Coach. In regards to LSU, a lot's happened down there since they won the national championship in 2019. Just as someone that's done it year in and year out, how difficult is it to sustain that level of success?
Well, I think that, you have to try to avoid complacency when people have success. Sometimes they get a little complacent on doing things right. I don't know enough about their situation to comment on their situation. I'm just talking about the circumstances that we've gone through here, with our teams. And when you have good leadership on your team and you have good maturity on your team, usually you can sort of avoid some of those pitfalls. But you have to have, players that are there to also step up, be ready to play, because you're always going to lose a whole bunch of good players. And they lost a whole bunch of good players after they won the championship. We've lost a whole bunch of good players like last year. And, this year's team has, sort of steadily, I think, improved their maturity, improved their consistency and performance. But that's something that we still need to continue to work on so that we aren't complacent about, who we play, what we're doing, how we're improving, how we're creating value for the individuals on our team as well as, the team as a whole.
We will go to John Senior from the AP.
Yeah, Nick, a two-parter on Bryce. How much have you seen him kind of progress from week to week as he's gained some experience, and how beneficial can that open date be to kind of slow down and evaluate and fine tune?
Well, I think we're always trying to get better. Bryce is a really competitive guy who really works hard, and he wants to get it right. He's always, works hard at preparing the right way. He's a pretty consistent performer in practice each and every day. uses every opportunity to try to get better. So never been disappointed in the way he played from the first game, right up until now. But he has improved, and I think his confidence and experience and playing with the new players that we have on offense, all those things have contributed to that development. And hopefully we're going to have to, continue to do that as we go through each and every one of these games to finish the season.
Remind everyone to use the raise your hand function if you have a question. With that, we will go to Stephen.
Coach, Christian Harris was on the semifinalists for the Butkus Award. What would you like to see him do better, Christian Harris?
Yeah, Christian has played well for us, this year. I think that, he's been a very, very good player. He's very athletic. I think he's improved dramatically from a year ago to this year and continues to make that kind of progress. He's had a really good attitude about what he's tried to accomplish and what he's trying to do this year. So, as every player on our team, we're trying to get them to be the most consistent performers that they can be. And that's what he wants for himself. That's what we want for him. And that's what we're going to continue to try to do.
Unless we have a follow-up, this will be the last question. Tony, go ahead.
Okay, I actually have two. First off, has Drew Sanders been cleared to play this weekend?
Drew will start practicing this week, and they're going to do further x-rays to see how he's healed, and there's a good possibility, we think, that he may be cleared to play in this game.
And then secondly, how have you seen Phidarian Mathis kind of grow as a leader, especially this season, just with his voice in practice and on the field?
Yeah, Phil's done a really good job. He's one of the guys that's really stepped up as a leader, worked hard, sets a good example, is confident enough in himself and his maturity to, challenge other players to do the same. And I think that has benefited us tremendously.
All right, Coach, that's all we've got.
And Coach Ogeron with the Coach O press conference as the Tigers get set to travel to take on
Okay.
in Tuscaloosa with kickoff just after 6 o'clock.
The Coach O press conference and also the Coach Saban press conference. Let's go ahead and break down this game for you. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and break down LSU Alabama. So we're going to send it over to the so I'm going to go ahead and send that over. And we'll break down the matchup. Let me get this set up for you. Well, it's not coming in. Can't find. What the hell? Mm-hmm. I can't get the preview. Darn it. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and wrap it up. I know I said they're all day running it. Okay, once again, thanks for joining us for LSU versus Alabama preview. We're glad we had the video. We couldn't get the preview, so apologize for that. So we'll be back on again tomorrow for Tulane preview. They will take on UCF. So everybody have a good rest of your Monday afternoon. We'll be back on later for Monday night coaches shows, and also we'll be back for coaches shows. Okay.